In addition to eliminating beliefs and conditionings, the Lefko method has another important element. Some people say this additional aspect is even more powerful and exciting than the process you've already experienced. This process, which I call Who Am I Really?, requires you to have eliminated a couple of beliefs before it will work, which is why we put it after the second belief. Try it and see for yourself. Again, please answer all my questions out loud. Even though it might seem a little strange talking to someone whose voice is coming from your computer and who can't hear you, I'm sure you're used to it by now. It's important that you make each step real to yourself, and when you answer out loud, that's the best way to do it. Okay? I'd like you to imagine that as a child you had me, friendly Uncle Morty, living across the street from you. Every day before dinner you came to visit me and tell me about your life, the good and the bad. You told me about your interactions with your parents, much like you've imagined when you thought about the childhood events that led to your beliefs. Imagine further that as you formed each belief, you also told me about it. So one day when you were about 4 or 5 years old, you came to my house and told me you had concluded, mistakes and failure are bad, or I'm not good enough. Because I knew all about how beliefs start, I'd have told you that your conclusions were very reasonable given the events in your home. I'd have assured you that almost any child your age, having the same experiences, probably would have concluded the same thing. But what if I then helped you, as a little child, find alternative interpretations for your parents' behavior? Do you think you'd ever have formed the beliefs you did? You might have walked out of my house with very different beliefs like, Mom and Dad are critical sometimes because they think that's a good way to teach me, or my behavior may not always be the best, but that doesn't mean I'm not good enough as a person. Is it real that if your wise Uncle Morty had helped you find these alternative meanings for your parents' behavior when you were a child, you never would have formed the beliefs you did? And if you had had different beliefs, your life would have been different, wouldn't it? So based on what I just said and on the work you've done on this computer program, can you acknowledge now that you create your beliefs? Please say out loud, I create my beliefs. Can you acknowledge that your beliefs determine your life? In other words, that your beliefs determine how you behave and how you feel. Please say out loud, my beliefs determine my life. Doesn't it follow then that if you create the beliefs that determine your life, that you ultimately are the creator of your life? It's not that you directly cause how you behave and feel. It's that you create the beliefs that determine how you behave and feel. Please realize that by referring to yourself as a creator, you do not deny the existence of God or a higher power, or assume yourself to be some supernatural creature. In a very specific sense, the meanings you give to meaningless events are the beliefs about yourself and life that ultimately determine what you do and feel. In that sense, and only in that sense, do you determine your life. And that's the best news I'll give you all day. If it were the actual events in your childhood that determined your life, you'd be in big trouble, because you'd never be able to change what happened. But because it's the beliefs about those events that determine your behavior and feelings today, you can change the rest of your life by simply eliminating the beliefs. Please say the following words out loud. I create my beliefs determine what I do and feel, therefore I create my life, and I can change it. People usually think of themselves as the sum total of their beliefs about themselves. For example, I'm a hard worker. I'm a good parent. I'm someone who thinks I'm not very important. I'm someone for whom life is difficult. I'm someone who has a hard time making money, and so on. 2 of the beliefs you had about yourself before you started this computer program included, I'm not good enough, and I'm someone for whom mistakes and failure are bad. But after completing each process, you affirmed that each belief was not the truth about you, and in fact, never had been. Look inside yourself right now. There's still a you there, isn't there? And I don't just mean your physical body. I mean, you still have an internal sense of yourself, don't you? Are you still answering out loud? It really is important for this process to be effective. Given that you still experience a you inside, think about this. If you've eliminated feelings and beliefs you identified as who you were, and yet you are still here, you can't be the sum total of your beliefs and feelings, can you? Yeah, so you could use the Lefko method to eliminate every single one of the beliefs you think are true about yourself, and you still wouldn't eliminate a sense of yourself. Or there's another way to look at it. If you can get rid of who you think you are and still maintain your identity, then you can't be who you think you are. You can't be your beliefs and feelings. You have to be something else. So think about who you really are. I'll give you a clue. How did the beliefs get into your head? In other words, how did meaningless events produce meaning in you? Can you see that there had to be an interpreter of mom and dad's behavior before there was an interpretation? There had to be an I who originated the belief before a belief existed. That I is who you really are. And that makes you the creator of your life and not what you created. Is it real to you now that you're the belief creator and not merely the creation, which is the sum total of your beliefs? You're not your beliefs, you're the creator of your beliefs. You're not your life, you're the creator of your life. You created the game. Here's a simple analogy that might make this point even more clear. Imagine that who you really are is a sculptor, and when your physical body is born, it's an unformed mass of clay. As the sculptor, you look at your model, which in the beginning is your parents' behavior, and you then start sculpting the clay. You put a little I'm not good enough, some mistakes and failure are bad, and so forth and so on. And when you complete the sculpture, do you know what happens? You forget you're the sculptor, and you live the rest of your life as if you're the piece of sculpture. Pretty deep, eh? I suspect you know right now that you're the creator of your life in a very profound way. At the moment you saw there had to be an I who existed before the beliefs, who actually created the beliefs, you transformed yourself from the creation into the creator. And I think you now know that in a very special way. You see, there are three radically different ways to know something. First, cognitively, by understanding it. Second, experientially, by experiencing it. And third, by distinguishing or creating it. We're familiar with and are accustomed to talking about the first two ways of knowing something. For example, you can describe a great meal you've had. You can describe the ingredients, how it was cooked, what it tasted like, how it smelled, how you felt while eating it, and more. You can even show me pictures of the food. I can understand the meal after you describe it to me in detail. I can even want to eat it, because by understanding your meal, it makes me feel as if I would enjoy it. But you know that meal in a way I don't, because you've had the experience of eating it. You've actually tasted it. Experience isn't a better way to know something, it's just a different way. There's a third way to know something, by distinguishing it. To know something when you distinguish or create it as true is different than merely knowing something because you understand it or experience it. Can you see that? At the moment you realized there had to be an I who created the beliefs before there were beliefs, you made a distinction between yourself as the sum total of your beliefs and yourself as the creator of your life. You didn't merely understand or experience that you're the creator of your beliefs. You created it as true. When you do that, you know something in a very profound way. Don't you know at this very moment that you're the creator of your life in a profound way that goes beyond understanding or experience? Don't you know that? Just for the moment, don't think about the future or the past. Just look inside yourself right now as the creator of your life. What's possible? Saying your answers out loud makes each step of the process much more real and powerful than merely thinking the answer. What feels possible right now? If you truly get that you're the interpreter, not the sum total of your interpretations, it'll feel right now as if anything is possible. Is that how you feel now? Look inside yourself right now as the creator. What limitations do you have? Again, please answer out loud. What limitations do you feel when you look inside yourself right now? It feels as if there's no limitations, doesn't it? Would you agree that up until now, no matter how good things in your life were, there was usually the feeling that something was missing, that there was almost always a sense of, if only? Just for the moment, put aside what you felt and known up to now and what you expect to feel and know a few minutes from now. Just look inside yourself at this very moment and experience yourself as the creator of the beliefs that determine your life. Is there anything missing right now? Right now, as the creator, it feels as if nothing's missing, doesn't it? What's your experience or sense of yourself as the interpreter or creator right now? Please answer out loud. In the course of tens of thousands of sessions, people have described the experience as powerful, serene, calm, peaceful, whole, complete, satisfied, empowered, there being nothing missing, no limitations, and unlimited possibilities. By being a full participant in the Lefko method and allowing me to guide you through this process, you've created a state of consciousness in which you experience yourself as the creator of your beliefs and therefore of your life. You've been in a state of consciousness in which you experience nothing is missing and anything is possible. When you eliminate a belief using the Lefko belief process, there's nothing more you have to do. The creation, which is the sum total of your beliefs, is different, so your thoughts, feelings, and behavior will change naturally, without any effort. When you eliminate all the beliefs that cause a given problem, the problem will disappear. Until you eliminate all the beliefs, however, the problem will still be there. Is there anything you can do to better cope with the problem until you've eliminated all the beliefs that cause it? Yes, there is. You can use an exercise I'm about to show you to change the way you feel about your negative, undesirable thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Let me explain what I mean. You're now clear that you have beliefs, but you aren't your beliefs. You're the consciousness that created the beliefs, right? You're also clear that your thoughts, feelings, and behavior are the result of your beliefs, right? So that means you aren't your thoughts, feelings, and behavior. Ultimately, you create them through your beliefs. Does that make sense? They are being caused by beliefs you created. With different beliefs, you'd be having a different reaction to the same circumstances. When you notice that you're upset, and it seems as if some external circumstance is causing the upset, pause for a minute and remind yourself, I have thoughts, I am not my thoughts. I have feelings, I am not my feelings. I do things, I am not what I do. I am the consciousness in which my thoughts, feelings, and action show up. Spend a moment reading these words on the screen. Let them sink in. Allow yourself to fully experience who you really are. You can even use the pause button just below if you want more time. When you experience yourself as consciousness, not your thoughts, feelings, and behavior, you will no longer be at the effect of them. You don't have to know the beliefs that are responsible for what's happening in your life at any given moment. All you need to do is remind yourself that whatever you're thinking, feeling, or doing is the result of beliefs you made up. Beliefs that are not true and never were. They are merely the arbitrary meaning you gave to meaningless events in your past. Now, reminding yourself what I just told you won't make beliefs go away. You need to go through all the steps of my process on each belief separately to get rid of it permanently. But when you make it real for yourself that who you really are is consciousness, the creator of the game of life, not a helpless pawn in that game, you will no longer be at the effect of whatever had been upsetting you. You will experience a distance between yourself, with a capital S, and any disturbing thoughts or feelings you might have. It feels like yourself is observing the creation, having upsetting thoughts and feelings. They are still there. But they won't run you if you remind yourself of what I've just told you. Try using this exercise and let me know how you like being able to transform the quality of your life at will. If you need help getting into the who am I really space, just return to this program anytime you want and spend less than 5 minutes distinguishing yourself as the creator of your life. Using the Lefko method enables you to achieve two important results. First, you can change your creation by changing the beliefs that make up the creation. You aren't the same creation now as you were before you eliminated the first two beliefs. And after you complete the next three, your creation will have a lot less concern with the opinion of others. Second, the Who Am I Really process you just did enables you to distinguish yourself as the creator of the creation. In that space, you discover who you really are and transcend the creation altogether. Okay? Now back to the beliefs. You've already eliminated two, each of which had been contributing to your lack of self-confidence. After you eliminate all 5 beliefs, you'll notice a significant improvement in your self-confidence, and you'll find yourself doing and saying things that had been virtually impossible before. The next belief you're about to eliminate can be very useful to get rid of. The belief is, change is difficult and takes a long time. Your words for this belief might be somewhat different. I'll explain after you start working on the belief. It doesn't cause any problem by itself, but it can cause you to anticipate that you'll still have the same old problems even when the original source of the problems, your beliefs, is really gone. If you're skeptical about making fundamental changes easily and permanently, if you have a hard time accepting that the 2 beliefs you already worked on are really gone, then you almost certainly have this belief. For now, all I want to say is most people have this belief because most people's experience of trying to change their behavior and feelings has been difficult and has taken a long time, if they succeeded at all. When you erase this next belief from your mind, you'll find that you can see that it's possible for you and others to make lasting change quickly. You'll get that this program can, in fact, change your life in only a couple of hours in 20-minute chunks. You don't even have to know how it's possible. You'll just know that it is possible. By the way, if you think your friends and associates would find this program valuable, please send them a link to this site, www.recreateyourlife.com. Now, please click on the button Next Belief to eliminate a belief that might be getting in the way of our belief elimination process working as well as it could.